Better late than never, they say. And that's why, even though we're some minutes behind schedule, we are always on track all the time to serve it hot and fresh as relates to your relationship with Ikeja as a distribution company. You're welcome to Ikeja Electric and You. This is your Monday tonic. It's a weekly one, by the way, and it comes to you from 9:15 through 10 o'clock. The whole idea is to ensure that you have a better working relationship with Ikeja Electric as a distribution company, and yet they're here to serve you better and make things much brighter. It's nice to have you join us. My name is Victor Oteri. Last week, we started the conversation on energy theft as well as whistleblowing, and today we're going to be continuing that dialogue, and that's because a whole lot of things are happening. Energy theft is really wreaking havoc on the electricity disco, especially under Ikeja Electric, and they are saying there must be ways for us to comply with existing laws, and there must be ways for us to also report it so that we can make things much better in terms of sustainability. So we'll be dwelling on that this morning. My guest already in the building. We're still tracking the movement on Ikorodu Road. That's where the central point of attraction is right now. Those of you coming in from the inner part of Ikorodu, apologies this Monday morning. It is pretty slow, okay? So the Lagos State government is saying this is not the intended consequence of that road repairs. The whole idea is for you to have a better movement on Odoyalaro Bridge. The expansion joint, most of you have been calling on this frequency to say it's pretty bad. What is government doing about it? So they are beginning work on that particular expansion joint. And so preparations for that is really affecting your movement right now. Coming in from the inner part of Ikorodu, I understand the backlog has even extended to areas like Owode this beautiful morning. But we're advising that if you're coming in from that end, you can make use of mile 12 underneath the bridge. From there, you connect Ajelogo, and from Ajelogo, you can link up with Ogudu. And from there, you'll be able to continue your journey. If you're making that journey towards the Third Milan Bridge, or rather, if you still want to connect Ikorodu Road, you make the detour at Y Junction to Woroshoki to link up with Bagada, and from there link up with Atoni to connect Ikorodu Road. We're tracking that from time to time. All right, you're welcome. A brief break, 1 or 2 messages from our partners, and when we return, it'll be time to begin the conversation.
My brother, what is the problem with these NEPA people? They have disconnected my light again.
There's nothing like NEPA again. It's Ikeja Electric. Did you connect illegally?
I only called one electrician nearby to connect it for me.
What? You and that electrician are joking with 21 years imprisonment. It's illegal to connect or reconnect yourself or carry out any form of activity on Ikeja Electric network. Doing so will not only cause damage, it can lead to electric shock and electrocution.
21 years imprisonment? Electrocution? God forbid. Please, I'm going to contact Ikeja Electric right now for proper connection to stay alive peacefully with my family.
If you want to connect or reconnect light, kindly contact Ikeja Electric's nearest office to you, and also report any energy theft you notice around you through Ikeja Electric's customer care numbers 01-488-3900, 01-7000-250, and 0700-022-5543, or send an email to customercare@ikejaelectric.com. Ikeja Electric, bringing energy to life. Hey, have you heard the good news about Ikeja Electric?
What is new this time?
Ikeja Electric has made payment of electricity bills a lot easier through multiple payment channels accessible anywhere, anytime. You can pay using bank mobile apps and websites, Ikeja Electric website, and through their payment agents as well. The payment channels are convenient, reliable, and secure.
Fantastic!
Please pay your bill to avoid disconnection and ensure you collect or print your receipt as evidence of payment. Do not give cash to any Ikeja Electric staff for bill settlement, reconnection fee, meter bypass, or any of the surcharges. For more information, visit www.ikejaelectric.com. You can also contact customer care on 01-700-250 and 01-2272-940, or send an email to customercare@ikejaelectric.com. Ikeja Electric, bringing energy to life.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Quick update. Broken down car. It's a Honda vehicle at Bagada by Pedro. This is opposite Northwest Filling Station, inwards Anthony. It's having a ball joint problem. All right. I hope that would have been effectively tackled. Another incident to report: road rehabilitation work by men of ECC Construction Company on that's at Emergency Point connecting Ilubiri inwards at Deniji. That one is also on, but we have cones that have been placed appropriately by traffic managers around that particular corridor. We have our traffic managers visibly seen managing the situation right now, and traffic has backlogged all the way to Simpson underneath the bridge through Osborne, connecting Emergency Point. So that's what you have if you are trying to connect the Third Mainland Bridge from Simpson. It's as a result of that road rehabilitation work. Let's get to the world of Ikeja Electric and, of course, Halimah Shuaibu, my regular companion on the program. She's here and she'll be taking us through this beautiful morning. Halimah, how are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, Victor. How are you today?
Very good. How was your weekend? I hope it was good.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And I hope your journey here was smooth.
Not exactly.
Because
there was
pretty
a bit
slow.
of traffic here.
It's pretty
but then
slow.
I made it here in good time.
Right. But thank God that you were here.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. 7 days gone by. What's been happening under the disco? What's happening?
Oh, okay. So far, so good. Yes, we have customers, of course, giving us feedback as per how well they're enjoying electricity. I'm sure you're going to testify today, Victor.
Well, it's still good. In my own area, I do not know of others.
Okay, yeah. So of course we're getting that. We also have, of course, we have areas where people still talk about not getting up to the number of hours that they should, maybe as a result of a local fault. But of course, all of these are getting adequate attention. So that's why we always encourage our customers to report cases of any fault or whatever it is
that they find in
their neighborhood.
Okay, so they're supposed to escalate that as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
All right. So what was the mechanism? I mean, for some, they're still very used to the habit of calling an electrician nearby to help them fix. What's the danger in that? Okay,
and that's why people talk about extortion, because it's more like asking somebody to help you. It's no longer an official thing. So you give room for extortion when you go ask maybe somebody you know that works in Ikeja Electric, and that's why we use this medium to emphasize how effective the official complaint channels are. You don't need to call me. You don't need to send me a message. Just you either call the Ikeja Electric customer complaint line, which is 0201 2000 7,250. Sorry, pardon me. 7,250. Or you walk into any of our offices, anyone close to you, lodge a complaint. Make sure you get what we call a service request number, because that's the only thing that makes your complaint official. So if you tell me, you tell your friend, you tell your cousin, your relation that works in Ikeja Electric, you haven't done the proper thing until you get what we call a service request number.
Okay, so with the service request number,
they'll
be able to attend to you?
Absolutely. So what that means is that whoever it is that is supposed to take action on that complaint would see it on the person's dashboard. Every other person that needs to act on it would see it, and of course it can be documented and tracked. Even the customer that lodged that complaint can use that same number to track the complaint, to do like a follow-up, to say, okay, what's the update on this, has this been done, and all of that. So it's very important to ensure that you get the service request number.
Let's reflect a bit on energy theft, because I see it's still something that is very, very high under the network. Talk to me, what's the latest, and what are you guys doing to curb the menace of energy theft under Ikeja?
Okay, Victor, very well, we're still on top of this, because theft is going on. And if you look at just yesterday or over the weekend, there was a press release where we have most of the online news papers, reporting our position on energy theft. And so what we're saying is that it cannot continue. Customers who are stealing energy, who probably think that, okay, we're just going to stop at, giving them loss of revenue being factored onto their meters. We are saying that it's going to be beyond that. We're going to actually have people being prosecuted now moving forward. People will go to court if they are caught stealing. And of course, there are penalties. Okay, so if you tamper with the electricity, you stand you could be jailed for 6 to 3 years. Yes.
Between 6 and 3 years?
Absolutely. 6 months rather.
Oh,
to
6 months. Okay.
6 months to 3 years, exactly.
Right. So what constitutes energy theft? For those who are listening to us right now, tuning in for the very first time, they're wondering what she's saying. Energy theft. So what will constitute an energy theft?
Okay. Energy theft is willful stealing of energy. So you are deliberately not paying for energy even though you're using it. So what we have observed is that we have cases of people either stealing outrightly completely, or they do what we call a partial bypass. So while the unit on their meter is depleting, it is not reflecting the actual consumption in that premises. So for instance, this is a studio where you have ACs, you have other appliances that probably will draw more energy, but those things are not directly connected to your meter. So you have only the lightning points, maybe your bulbs that are being connected to the meter. So yes, when you turn it on, it appears that the meter, of course, is reading, is depleting, but it's not capturing everything in this premises. That's partial theft. Okay. Then you now have some people who just outrightly steal everything, so they're not paying, they abandon their meter, they bypass totally, and sometimes they even hang their wires at night. They hang their wires at night and they're using this energy, they are not paying for it. And so what people think is, a lot of our customers think that, okay, since we probably have closed, we can't come and monitor and see what you're doing. What they forget is that whatever consumption it is in a particular area is being captured by the meter on the transformer. And so we have an idea of how much has been stolen. We probably cannot say, okay, it's house A, house B, house C, except we now start doing a thorough search and say, okay, we want to come here and investigate to find out if this is the house. But then again, we know that, yes, we're not getting what we should get from here because theft is going on. So, yes, it's important for customers to know that ultimately this will affect them, because when you know where we are in the value chain, Victor, we are the downstream, we are the last stage of the value chain, and we are like the collection point. Right. It means that if we're not able to collect this money, we will not be able to serve the entire value chain. It means that all the complaint about electricity not being stable, we would continue in that light. We will not be able to solve the problem. And that's why customers need to take this seriously. And then also we encourage customers who are responsible members of the society to whistleblow. If your neighbor, if your relation, if anybody is stealing, it's either you're speaking against it or you're whistleblowing. All right,
we'll talk about those whistleblowing channels. Absolutely. But what impact is energy theft having on Ikeja Electric?
So, like in the last few months, where I give an example, there was an estate in Akonwojo just on Wednesday last week, because we're having an engagement with some of the CDCs in that location. And then we went to an estate where almost everybody in that estate has bypassed their meters. Almost everyone in the estate. So that tells you the volume of loss that we're experiencing. Wow. So last week we were talking about, so we're losing over 70% of whatever it is that has been delivered to our customer. And I can tell you, no business can survive that way. And the customers themselves would also bear the brunt somehow if this continues. And so we all have to be on this, whether as a customer, whether you're a player in the industry, you have to. And that's where, of course, Victor, where whistleblowing comes to play. And
so let's talk about the whistleblowing channels.
Yes. So for whistleblowing, we have gone a step ahead by ensuring that, we make sure that our customers remain anonymous. So the fear of I've been at an engagement where people say if they report that probably our officials will now be the same people that will now go
and reveal.
Exactly, and say that, okay, your neighbor or number this thing told us that you're stealing energy. And we are saying that this is being handled by Deloitte. Okay, so this is an independent body that collates this information. And even when people send emails, they still remain anonymous. So if you send an email, ideally when you send an email, I'm supposed to see the email address of the sender. Okay, so what we have done with this on this whistleblowing platform is to see that when you send an email, you still remain anonymous. Okay, so to send an email, first of all, you can send an email to expressyourself@ikejaelectric.com.
Okay.
Expressyourself@ikejaelectric.com.
All right.
You can also go to our website, www.ikejaelectric.com.
Right.
www.ikejaelectric.com/whistleblowing.
All right.
Now, once you do that, there's also a form that you can fill to document whatever it is that you want to tell us. Give us the landmark information that is required. And then we've even gone a step ahead to say that if you whistleblow, we're going to reward you.
Oh.
So yes, if you whistleblow, so you get 5% of the reconnection cost if it is a what we call a maximum demand customer. And then you get 10% of the reconnection cost if it's a residential customer. That's when I say maximum demand customer, I'm referring to like a commercial outfit where people, right. Yes, exactly. So, and there's also a toll-free line to call. I'll be giving out that number, Victor, in the course of this program.
All right. So let's talk about anti-theft. Do you guys carry out any anti-theft operations?
Oh, very well. We even carry out sting operation. We have one by our security unit. We also have a dedicated team, the people we refer to as the RPE team, whose job it's entirely to go after energy thieves. So based on our record, of course, we look at this. We check this all the time to look at the places where we're having huge losses. And of course, we go to those areas to inspect. And that's why we always ask that people should cooperate with our people to enable them come to their premise, except you have anything to hide.
Right.
So you allow them come inspect these meters to be sure that your meter is not on bypass.
And I'm asking that question because Bakari is sending a question in here. He says, how does Ikeja Electric handle threats of violence against its staff during anti-theft operations? Jamiu Bakari is sending that one in.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bakari. We really appreciate that. Yes, we usually have cases of staff assault, but then again, we always urge our customers to go through the right channels to lodge their complaint if they feel aggrieved. So when our people go on this kind of exercise, of course we meet resistance, but then we find a way to engage the customers so that they will give us access to their premises for us to inspect. And like I said, it's only in cases where people have something to hide. We've also experienced resistance from some estates where they don't want us to come in because they, for whatever reason, they claim it's for security, and that's why we say that our people are easily recognizable. So if you see an Ikeja Electric person, you would be able to recognize by asking for the person's ID card, from the person's coverall, even from our vehicles that will bring exactly. And also you can even go a step further by calling the undertaking or the office that is close to you to confirm if these people are from Ikeja Electric. So I don't see any reason why you wouldn't allow them, grant them access.
All right. This one says, good morning, Lagos Traffic Radio. Please, how can community members report suspected cases of energy theft?
Oh, thank you.
Says, I am Josiah.
Thank you, Mr. Josiah. So I'm going to give you a toll-free number you can call, and it's, like I said, absolutely free. The number is 0800-8476-337. I'll take that again. 0800-847-6337.
Okay.
Yes, that's the toll-free number to call to whistleblow. You don't pay, just call us and give us all the information we need. And of course, you remain anonymous, fully protected.
This one says, good morning, Victor. Are there more educational programs or campaigns like this aimed at informing the public about the consequences of energy theft? You didn't put your name, by the way. So do we have that? Do we have more?
Yes, we do, Victor. Just last week, Tuesday, remember on Monday, I was in the studios and I talked about the virtual stakeholders engagement. Mm-hmm. And that this, of course, is one of the crucial issues that we discussed. And of course, creating more awareness in the area of telling people the consequences of energy theft, telling them that there are penalties, telling them that people could go to jail. We also do this on radio, public enlightenment. Tomorrow is Tuesday. My colleague is going to be on Rainbow FM. On Thursday, another person will be speaking on Ikorodu FM. So it's a complete campaign. We're everywhere talking about the dangers and the consequences of energy theft.
All right. So the broken down Honda vehicle at Bagada by Pedro opposite the Northwest Filling Station in West Anthony has been taken off. So it's a much better movement within that particular corridor. Gradually heading to the finish line this morning, but I still have more reactions here. This one says, what incentives, if any, are offered to customers who report energy theft? All right. I think you mentioned that, right?
I'm sorry?
What incentives are offered to customers who report energy theft?
Oh, okay. So if you are reporting, if the if you're reporting a case of a theft in a residential area, you get 10% of the cost of reconnection. If it is a commercial, what we call maximum demand customer, you get 5% of the cost of reconnection. Of course, like I said, when you're calling toll free. We're also ensuring that you remain anonymous. Everything is just to make sure that the customer feels motivated to whistleblow. Yeah.
All right. This last one I'm going to take before we begin to round up. This one says, good morning, Victor and Halima. Yeah. My name is Rashid. How do financial losses accrued by Ikeja Disco due to energy theft affect the average customer's electricity bill? Cheers.
Okay.
If I ain't sending this one, if I ain't Okafo, okay?
Okay, so, that's an intelligent one. Thank you very much. And like I said, energy theft has a ripple effect. So whether you are sitting down in your house, you're innocent, you don't know, somebody's stealing, that act affects you. So, for instance, he's saying that the losses, where does it go to? So what we do is eventually when we find out where the losses are from, so that's why we go house to house to find out, okay, when we have detected that, okay, on this transformer, we're getting less than we have given, so we know that it is in this area. And when those things are found, that's where we talk about the loss of revenue I was talking about earlier. So this loss of revenue is being factored into that customer's meter in the case of course, a prepaid customer. So if, for instance, whatever it is that we have, after we have done the calculation, and say, for instance, we found that you have stolen up to energy worth ₦1 million, we just put that into the meter so that as you're vending, you're defraying that debt gradually. Okay, and usually we still even make it, we'll still considerate in spite of that. We find a way to ensure that the customers pay in a way that, is still convenient to them.
All right, let's begin to take this home this morning. So what you're saying now is that for us to curb energy theft, what are the things that customers should do? Also,
firstly, they need to be alive to their responsibility. It's a civil responsibility to ensure that once you see your neighbor stealing, you escalate. And so how do you escalate? You could call the toll-free line. You can send an email to express yourself at ikejaelectric.com. You can go to our website. And we even prefer you to use the whistleblowing, Victor, because we've also had cases where people said that they have told our colleagues, or say, for instance, you know me personally, and you've told me, and then the person comes back, your neighbor comes back to say,
so you reported
exactly me. And so that's why we encourage you to use the whistleblowing platform. So please use the whistleblowing platform, and of course we'll help you.
Right.
And you can also check our social media handles to get updated information. So if you can't remember anything I have said on this program, just go there and you find everything you need to know about our whistleblowing.
All right, we'll leave it at that for now. Halimah Shuaibu, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure, Victor.
Always on Mondays, she's always here to bring you the latest gist from Ikeja Electric. And this week, we'll be able to reflect a bit on energy theft and its implications for sustenance of electricity. So let's desist from that and let's ensure we do the right things. Mike James has produced the program this morning. I say a big thank you to Deborah Bulidioku and our executive producer is Taya Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a great day. Bye.